Tell me
Now we're on.
Are we on right now? We're live?
We're live.
The fuck's up, everybody?
Look who I brought, motherfuckers.
Yeah. I'm here.
Anybody? Nobody's reacting at all. I'm looking at the thread. Nothing.
No one is reacting to my presence.
They're no selling this shit.
They're selling me worse than fucking Big Show no sells a Roman Reigns Superman punch.
Horrible. They're talking about ESPN 2. I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of ESPN, guess who followed us on Twitter tonight?
I already know, so I'll let them guess, but they're not paying any attention to us.
She was like, someone asked her, right? Someone asked her, oh, yeah, you watching Extreme Rules? She's like, no, I got other more important shit to do. I'll read about it later. So I was like, I got you covered. I get a notification, favorited from Michelle Beadle, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, whatever. And then I get another notification, new follower, Michelle Beadle, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here right now. You're kidding me.
That's it.
Michelle Beadle, dude. That's who did the interview with Brock coming back. Yeah.
That's who broke the Brock news.
Look, here's the thing. Michelle and I, we have this thing, whatever. It's not a big deal. I
don't like to talk about it. I don't want to play it up because I know that's your deal and I don't want to make it seem like a big thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of big like that. We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we are.
And and Austin talks us up all the time now. He's always just like saying, "Oh, I'm just happen to be reading this on CagesideSeats.com."
Yeah, I'm looking at the card on Cageside.com. He said something. I made a smart ass remark about one of the matches, and he read it, and I was like, "Oh shit." he's like, again, I'm not saying that. That's what CagesideSeats.com is reporting. I was like, I'm not reporting it.
Right?
What was it? I don't remember what it was, but I was like, this is the get everyone on the card who has. Oh, it was the Andre Battle Royal.
Right.
This is the get everyone on the card who has nothing better to do match. And he's like, let me make clear. I'm not saying this. That's that asshole Gino from fucking Cageside.
He didn't say you were wrong. He just, passed the buck a little bit. All right. So we're just big timing it over here. So how the hell are you, my man?
I'm terrible. Life is awful.
All right.
I'm extremely depressed and I'm unhappy with everything. And I need everyone to tell me how much they love me.
I love you, Gino.
To make me feel better about myself and my current situation. No, I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
All right. Well, I do love you, regardless of any of that was true or not.
Here's the thing.
Put that out there.
I'm always trying to get you to love me.
I know you are. It's a little needy, but it's kind of endearing. So
look, it's not needy. Needy would be every day if I was telling you.
All right. I said a little needy. I didn't say like a shit ton of needy.
I share you with a wife. You have a wife, and I allow that to go on.
That is big of you. I do appreciate. She appreciates it. I think. Yeah. Most days. Yeah.
Is she around? Are we going to be able to talk to her yet?
No, she's in bed. No, she doesn't want to talk to you. She actually said she would do it, but
did she really?
Yeah, she said she'd do it, but not tonight. That's like
not on camera either.
We got to. Oh no, she'll I'll hand her the headset. You'll still have to look at my ugly ass.
Yeah, off to the side. We'll just look at your ass.
Yep.
Not your ass,
this was a good night for looking at people's asses. So let's get to the card.
This was an ass-filled evening. Matt Roth is not here.
He's getting a burger.
Yeah, he went to Whataburger because he's not professional. And so when he returns, I'm going to fire him, even though I don't pay him. Oh, Sean, you're supposed to do something to me tonight before we get to the card. Go ahead. What were you going to do?
I'm going to, you're fired. Where was my Rollins Orton preview, man?
Okay, so for those who don't know,
you've never stood me up on a preview. You're my that's why you always get the main event. You're the anchor.
Here's how it happens, everybody. Some behind the scenes for you. Sean is a managing editor on the site now. I'm what's considered editor in chief, which is essentially head cheese. I'm Vince McMahon. Sean is my Triple H. Okay. Sean.
I would rather be Steph, but that's okay.
That
would be creepy when we flirted with each other. So you're right. As you were.
True. Yeah. Don't fuck this up, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
So Sean is in charge of getting the previews ready. You see the previews in the story stream, and then everyone does their own match preview or whatever. Sean's the one who doles those assignments out. And during event week, usually he'll send it out, usually early, but this week he was super late on it.
It was like Wednesday. It wasn't super late.
Super late, I said. And so he sends it out, and of course, like I usually do, I get my choice, basically. I get the main event, Rollins Orton. I'm like, okay, whatever. And everyone else did their shit. Literally everyone else. Militia who wasn't even booked to do one, did one, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
And then it comes.
I even did one for a match that didn't even occur, and we all knew wasn't going to occur.
And it got the most hits of any of the match previews, and it was a really good post. And then, yeah, it comes 2:30 Eastern. Preview should be going up, and nothing's there. I believe at the time I was sitting here playing Super Nintendo, UN Squadron.
Well, that's more important then.
It's far more important than dealing with this bullshit. You know what legitimately would happen? I forgot. I totally fucking blew it off.
Well, it's the excitement goes down for the previews as the days go on. So, you know, if there's ever any there to begin with, you know.
What am I gonna say? I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't think anyone gives a shit. Like, it's Orton versus Rollins, but it's really, what is Kane gonna do? That's what this match was.
Because that's what put butts in seats.
So let's start with that, because here's my feeling. Here's my feeling. This card was actually really good.
It was. I had
a lot of fun. For everyone who's listening to this, you know, for however many of you are here, I'll just tell you, the grade tomorrow is an A-.
Ooh.
And you can get a jump start on getting really pissed off about that before it goes up here in an hour and a half. And yeah, I put that on Twitter, that it was really good other than the main event. And someone's like, I disagree completely. What is the matter with you? In between someone saying, where's the podcast, you dicks? Hurry up, you late assholes. No, you know what? I didn't like the main event that much. I thought it was slow. I thought they didn't really, after a night of really good action and psychology, and all the matches were laid out really, really well. Like Sheamus and Ziggler was exactly what you would want a match like that to be, and they both played their roles to perfection. Big Show and Roman Reigns was maybe the match of the night in my eyes. I had a fucking lot of fun watching that match. And again, both guys were exactly as they were supposed to be. They told a really good story. And everyone did that. And then you got to the main event, and it was just kind of like you were just waiting for Kane to do whatever Kane was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kane did the same thing Kane always does, and it was stupid. And we saw it on Raw, and we saw it on SmackDown. And I don't know why they needed to do it here.
Yeah, I think I liked the match a little bit more than you did. I was digging it for a while. I don't know. I think these guys have pretty decent chemistry together. It wasn't as good as their Mania match, so it suffered for being that. And I think we were all sort of worn out, because that's the downside of having 3 hours of pretty good to great matches. Is at the end of the night, in a match where you know the story's going to be centered on Kane, it's hard to give a shit. So, but yeah, I feel like I'm worried we're headed toward a triple threat with Kane at Payback and
Orton.
Yeah,
my God.
I don't know. I mean, you're definitely getting more Rollins Orton, right? I mean, Jerry Lawler wouldn't shut up about how the RKO was banned. So
they're going
to tease that controversy out. We're getting more of this. It's just a matter of if anybody else joins the party.
Raw tomorrow night is probably going to be all about Rollins using that move, and he'll claim that it was Orton. It was banned from his use, not mine. I could use it, and they had been practicing that on the European tour or whatever, and it was So, man, I'd heard they were going to do a triple threat, but I'd heard that it was going to be Reigns.
That's what that promo that came.
Yeah, they did the whole promo, made it look like that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they didn't. Reigns wasn't involved in this finish at all tonight, so I don't know how you'd have to. They've got a month to work him in if they want to, but.
Well, he beat Big Show strong. Looked great doing it. So he's sort of in a, but I've also heard that the Observer reported that at one point not long ago, they were looking at doing Kane Reigns.
I mean, I don't really want to see it, but it makes sense in terms of him climbing the ladder back up. Like I said, I said this on Twitter too. I don't think I loved that match as much as you did, the Last Man Standing match, but it was good. It was a really good match.
Why?
But the thing about Reigns is that this character is now really interesting. This guy who thought he was getting it handed to him and he didn't, so now he's got to dig deep and crawl his way back up. That's what people are getting into. I mean, this is a cool character arc he's on now, as opposed to and he was doing it too, just sort of waiting to be coronated, and that's why he sort of came across as a dick in his interviews and nobody cared. But now this character's interesting, and I'm willing to watch him go through a few matches, even if it's Kane, to climb back up to the mountaintop.
Man, why didn't you like that match as much as me?
I just did. I don't like Last Man Standing matches in general, so I feel like it had a lot of really cool spots, but I didn't feel like I think it's really hard to make one of those matches flow really well, especially when you go into it without a great story. Like probably my favorite Last Man Standing match of the last few years is the one that they stole the finish of for this one, which was Del Rio one on SmackDown, which was all about Del Rio's face turn, and he was an everyman. And this, I don't know, they backed into a decent story between the two of them, but I feel like this was still like they were facing off because they had to face off, not because they put a lot of thought into it. But some of the spots were awesome. The bump through the two tables, the choke slam from the ring through the tables on the floor. That's going to be, people are going to talk about that spot for a long time. That might be like a turning point for Roman with some fans.
Dude, he was perfect in this match.
Why
does slow equal boring? Why does that seem to be the general consensus amongst the unwashed masses?
I don't know. I don't always think it's slow equals boring. I just, like I said, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of suspense for me about who was going to win this match. At no point did I consider the show was going to win. So slow didn't really build too much for me. I was just kind of waiting for different spots to happen. So I don't know. It doesn't always equal boring, but here, I mean, I don't want to say it's boring. I really liked the match. It wasn't my match of the night. It was probably third, I think on my list.
Here's what's funny to me is I think a lot of people are going to agree with your general assessment of the situation in that Roman Reigns has very quickly gone from, and he can't say this. Like, it'd be cool if he could cut this promo, but he couldn't because it'd make him a liar. To say, you know what, I was in a privileged position and I didn't realize that. And now I realize that I was because I've been having to battle so much and earn the respect. And I'm happy it's happened that way because, and you guys, you know what I mean? I can be a little bit more, whatever. I don't know how they would word that to not sound douchey because he always manages to sound douchey.
Yeah, I mean, he's still finding his feet, so to speak, as a speaker, too. I mean,
but you're right in the sense that he's, it no longer looks like he got to Mania and lost, and then they immediately pushed him down the card. And now he's not even in the main event picture. He's not even in the co-main event. He's like mid-card, technically. You know he's a main event guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you know he's a main event guy, but he's mid-card. Even if it's upper mid-card, still mid-card. And he's just doing his thing. He's going through the motions, and like you said, he's getting really good at getting his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
That bump, the choke slam through the two tables on the outside. I mean, he was just getting up and then, really selling it. You know what I mean? Really putting over how dangerous Big Show was.
Right.
And then making it that much more meaningful when he does his big spots and finally puts Big Show down. So again, that's just, those two went and had a really strong pro wrestling match.
Well, and here's my other thing. I'm going to keep bitching about this until it fucking stops.
What?
He's got to stop jerking off his hand.
Oh, geez.
It's horrible. Tonight, he did it all 3 times. He went for the Superman punch in like 30 seconds. What happens if he doesn't cock his fist? Well, does it not work? It's horrible. It's horrible. It should stop.
What's so wrong with it?
It looks like he's masturbating his own hand. One. It's just overly dramatic. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't. Who gets excited when they see that? Who gets excited? Who's fired up?
Pro wrestling is.
I like when he punches the ground like he's Superman, but I don't want to see this. I don't want to see it.
I keep waiting for him to pull a Randy Orton and throw his fucking shoulder out when he does that one of these days.
He might. The punches. He's gonna like shatter his metacarpals or whatever. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I just hate it, and it really drew attention to it tonight when he did the 3. But I know it's not going to change.
It's just kind of funny to me. It's just kind of funny to me that you're like, oh, I love the way the match was, the story that they told as far as what they're doing with Reigns, and he's going to get over this way because he's now, he's actually got to start from underneath. Whoa!
Hello,
let me cut
Look
this
at that.
off. Who have we been joined by?
It's a run-in by Matt Roth.
No, sir. You've been joined by Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America and Chicago native. I did not get to do the intro to the show, so I wanted to do this right now. Everybody, hello. Welcome to Cageside Live. You can reach Sean on Twitter at S1Root. You can reach on Twitter at Cageside Seats. And you can reach me on Twitter at MattRoth512. Gentlemen, What were you talking about?
President Obama, why is your Twitter handle at MattRoth512?
I know. When did you change it and lose millions and millions of followers?
I just try and stay humble sometimes.
All right. We're talking about Roman Reigns and how awesome his match with Big Show was. And Sean tells me how awesome he thinks it was, and then tells me it wasn't that awesome.
I think it was a good. I think it was a good match.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that having zero expectations for it kind of makes it a better match. He's still green as shit. Talking about Roman Reigns, there's still certain things that he does that really bother me, like cocking his wrist every single time he does the Superman punch.
See?
When he does it 3 times in a row, that's stupid. But overall, it was a good match. I think a lot of it was Big Show, who in recent years hasn't really carried his weight. Then he actually did a lot, and he looked really good.
He was awesome in this match.
Hmm?
He made Roman look really strong. And I don't mean that.
I would disagree that Roman's green, though. I think Roman's fine. He's getting a little bit better at the psychology and the selling, but he's always, I mean, the raw talent's always been there. He's putting it together, but I wouldn't say, I mean, I think he more than carried his own weight in this as well.
I'll say this.
Go.
Roman Reigns today is worlds away from Roman Reigns even 6 months ago.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
He's learned how to work a singles match. Is the main
dude. He
thing.
just had an outstanding.
He's had 3 outstanding pay-per-view matches in a row now.
With Big Show.
Well, yeah.
After we've already seen those two work a billion matches, and we're going into it convinced this is going to be shit. No one cares. No one wants it. Okay, I don't know if they. I can't imagine there's any way for them to manipulate the crowd sound on the network feed. I mean, I know there's a delay, but
yeah.
There's no fucking way that on a live show. And he didn't get booed.
No.
They cheered him in Chicago. And he got over doing everything he was doing and had a really kick-ass match against an old-ass, big, lumbering, done-for Big Show.
Well, I will say with one thing about the booking is it's smart to put him against Show because you're not going to be able to get a bunch of smarks to cheer for Big Show. I mean, watch when Big Show shows up at NXT events, how they chant "Please retire" at him and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's smart that, yeah, I mean, at worst he would get no reaction, but people were into this because, like I said, I mean, it was a good match and they're telling a good story with him now. So
I think overall though, it's just having low expectations entering, and then anything besides what you're expecting is gonna be better than that. So like, I had no expectations for this card, period, and I think it delivered way better than I expected.
Well, I acknowledge that in the recap too. It's like relative to my expectations, that absolutely helps aid the fact that it's, like I said, it's an A- show for me, and that's partly because I expected it to be an F show, and it wasn't. It was really good.
Right. When you expect a bad show, then like it was halfway decent. Like, was it stupid and hokey at points? Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
They did a lot of little things right, and like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper, they had their street fight. They never used tables, right?
No.
The crowd was chanting for it.
Lots of kendo sticks and chairs, but yeah.
How brilliant was it that the crowd was chanting for tables in the Chicago street fight earlier in the night, and they never got it. They never delivered on that. And then Reigns and Big Show come out, and Reigns is like dying to get the tables out, set them up to use them, and crowd's like, sweet ass, we're getting the tables we wanted. And Reigns is the guy to give it to him. And then Show breaks the first table and looks and screams, no tables. And that gets a ton of heat on Show. Mm-hmm. It's a hilariously great spot. Fucking King Kong fucking breaking the tables. And then gets Reigns super over his babyface because he's trying so hard to give the fans what they want. How fucking simple is that?
Here's the thing, too. Like, Big Show, he's kind of sucked in the past couple of years. Like, just not really that entertaining. But, man, like... he still understands psychology, and he probably understands psychology better than most of the roster.
Well, and here's I'll go a little bit farther for you there. Big Show, as a heel, is a phenomenal character. He was great when he had that World Heavyweight Champ run, when he was chasing Daniel Bryan, when Bryan was turning, when he was doing the no thing instead of the yes thing. He's been great in this. He's carried the promo load in this feud with Reigns.
Sure.
He does really well with it. Matt, what are you doing? It's bad enough you're like chewing French fries at my ear.
What?
He's just
You're
big
fired.
and he moves around like shit. And he's
Who? Matt Roth?
Show.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Matt Roth.
No, Big Show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't want to watch him work a match. I mean, he's fine. He tells the story okay, but I don't want to see it. But he can, and I have no interest in him as a babyface either. But as a heel, he plays a hell of a character.
Yeah, he's done some good work, and even, the crying stuff, the stuff with Stephanie. Of course, a lot of that's got to do with Stephanie.
Yeah.
He's done some good stuff. I mean, even within the past 5 years. But yeah, he's an enhancement character.
Right.
And tonight, and that's another reason tonight worked so well and was such a really, again, you got to give so much credit to it because he did exactly what they wanted him to do. Like his entire job was like, if it's just job performance, he goes to the back and you go, okay, with everything we were asking you to do, how'd you do? A+, 100%. He did everything he was supposed to. Literally everything.
The other thing, he's in his 40s and he's still doing those big spots. Like he's not going off like the top of his cage, but like getting speared through tables and stuff. Those are kind of big spots for a guy his age.
No, not kind of. They're big. The barricade and then the table. Yeah, man. That's good shit.
You said it on Twitter, Gino. That barricade spot never gets old.
It's so good.
It's
the loop all the way around, and he gets so much momentum going. And he used to be a football player. You know what I mean? Like he's fucking. He knows how to get down there and get it done.
His spear is on point, and I think that's why too. I mean, he's got the 3-point stance, and he knows how to drive, and I mean, it's.
You know what I got called out for? Yeah, it reminds me.
What?
So someone on Twitter, I posted a picture. You might have saw it. I found a picture in our photo editor at Getty from 2006 of Roman Reigns when he played for, who was it, Georgia Tech maybe?
Georgia Tech, yep.
And he's got a belly, like a significant looking like belly. He's a defensive tackle. He's real thick. He's got a huge cannon for an ass.
Nice.
Big old thick legs. And I'm like, that's fuck Roman. Holy shit. Like you look at him now, he's real cut up and svelte, he's got no belly at all. Well, I put it up on Twitter, and all I put is a picture of Roman Reigns from 2006. And then I followed up with 2006 Roman Reigns booty got me and then had a picture of fucking Ryback saying feed me more with like a bunch of food and shit. Someone tonight out of nowhere was like, so you're a feminist and you call out people for slut shaming, but what about you fat shaming Roman Reigns in that picture the other day? And I was like, what are you talking about? I said how much I liked his bodacious ass.
Mm-hmm.
How am I fat shaming? He looked awesome.
The internet's out of control.
The internet is
we need to shut it down. That's why you're depressed, man. It's because you spend too much time on the fucking internet.
I'm dead serious. Like Twitter it can be awesome.
Yep.
You can find a lot of really great people, and you can go on and tell your partner how much you love him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sean, and you don't never say it enough.
And I can ignore you and make you feel horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's so many fucking idiots. Like, God.
So
it just kills me.
There is one criticism that I do have of Roman Reigns.
Let's hear it.
The end of the match, the whole dumping table on top of Show, the entire match he's been like beat up, barely able to stand, and then all of a sudden he just starts jumping up and down on the table, like cheering with the crowd. That was bad psychology.
Now, in fairness, that's a WWE
babyface.
That's a WWE thing. They want the baby faces to stop selling when they get to that point.
I know, it's so stupid though, and that's
it is. You're right.
Like, I don't know. Like, do I think that he's ready for being in the main event? Not even close. I think that this was a great place for him, and if you keep letting him work with people like Big Show, and then maybe Kane. Kane's not great at actual like in-ring work, but he still understands psychology. If you let him work with these people and develop, instead of just going like you're the main event for WrestleMania and you're going to be moving like you're the future of the industry, maybe you actually do get another Rock.
Well,
he might be. I mean, I think he could be better in the ring than Rock ever was.
Physically, yeah.
I'm Rock Mark #1 over here. So, I mean, and I think that's smart. I mean, first of all, like you said, that's one thing. I mean, people are willing. I mean, even except for guys who just hate him for no reason. People who hate him for no reason. You're willing to go along on this journey with him. He wasn't ready to be given the WWE title last month.
which is what
That's
we
all.
said.
Right, which is all anybody was, it got turned into a whole, like, everybody was, drawing up sides of whether or not, where did you stand on Roman. But I think, like I said, most reasonable people were just saying, he's not there yet, don't do it now. You didn't build up to this, whether it's because he got hurt or whatever, he's not ready yet.
I think a big issue we have, and I've noticed that and us too sometimes, is, but a lot of fans are like, well, they're not that good in the ring. And it's okay. That's bullshit. Because, like, it's funny, I've been watching old Tough Enough shows and watching these green as goose shit, prospects train with Al Snow and fucking Taz and Bob Holly and all these guys. And even the later season with Austin and Booker T and Bill DeMott and Trish Stratus, and they don't know how to do an arm drag. They don't know how to do a fucking back bump. Like, they're learning how to just flip and take a proper bump. They're learning how to lock up, collar and elbow. And they were sitting there going, and then by the end of it, they put together a match, and it's not bad or whatever, but they're looking for the mechanics. They're looking for their technique to see if they're doing things right. And you go, these guys can't fucking work to save their ass. Well, okay, you get to the highest level, and of course, you have to have those kind of things down. But at the same time, you look at, like, Cameron can't work. Roman Reigns can work. Kane can work. Big Show can work. These guys are actually really, really fucking good in the ring. So it's confusing it between whether they can work and whether or not you care to see it. Too often it's like, oh, he really can't work that well. No, I don't think that's what it is, because actually he can work really well, and they've proven that time and again. I don't give a shit. I just don't care. They do a really bad job, and that's a WWE-wide problem right now. Is nobody is any good. I can think of 3 people on the roster who pop out to me, maybe 4, and none of them are active. Not a single one. They're all infrequent characters who actually make me actively give a shit about what they're doing and the stories that they're involved in. No one else is good at that on a consistent basis. That's the real problem WWE has right now.
Well, and that's like we talk about Matt was saying, like, coming into this card, we didn't expect anything of it. I don't think anybody was coming into this. I know from, like, the comments under the previews, most people were saying this match should be pretty good, this match should be pretty good. What we were all saying is the build to this sucked. You've given me no reason to care. I can look at this match and say, I bet these guys can go, but you're absolutely right too. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's why I always harp on calling it that I like calling it the internet wrestling community, because there's a lot of us with different opinions, and just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not good.
Right.
It's subjective. It is an art form. It might be like a lowbrow art form. I don't know. We can debate that at a different time, but different folks are going to like different things.
Oh, you could look at it like, if you're Steve Austin and you're on Tough Enough and you're watching, Cool Hand Luke and fucking MMA Jeremiah, and they lock up and he sees the mistake in how they're, what they're doing, where their feet are, or they run the ropes and they don't run the ropes right. He can sit there and say, that's not a subjective thing. You did it
right.
wrong.
You're right, yeah.
It's shit. But we can look at it and go, okay, well, you can overlook those kind of things, or even, we're not going to sit here and act like we know the proper technique and all these moves. I mean, we can watch shit like that. We can learn. We can, you don't need to be a coach in the NFL to know what a cover 2 defense is. You can be told. You can do your research. You can understand. We've never acted like we're fucking experts. We're fans, and we run a fucking fan blog, and we build a good community. That's what we do, whatever. But the point is that. So there are the differences between those two things of, okay, this is bad or this is good, and you can tell that there is a difference between that. But again, that doesn't really even matter. That part barely matters. That part matters the least. Hulk Hogan is one of the most boring fucking wrestlers in the history of the world. He knew 17 moves total. And he's really good at just hitting you with a boot. But you know what? Most charismatic motherfucker you will ever come across. Ever. Like, that's it. Made you care. You cared. That's all any of this is. And no one on the roster right now does a very good job, other than Brock, Stephanie, Paul Heyman, and Triple H.
I'll disagree with that. I'll disagree with that.
What part?
That there's more than those 4 part-timers that have people caring.
Name a full-time guy who makes you care on a consistent basis.
That makes me care on a consistent basis?
Yeah.
Oh, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. 100%.
Seth maybe, but Dean? Really? With how they've booked him?
Well, see, that's the thing, though. That's what I was going to say. Is there's guys. I mean, like Ambrose has peaks and valleys, but he stays a certain level of over. I think Ziggler does too, and I'm not the biggest Ziggler guy. He's below Ambrose in terms of that reaction, but they've survived some horrific booking to still get a reaction. That crowd went nuts for Dean Ambrose tonight.
It did, yeah.
And that was a feud that we had. They built that feud around one spot in the match at WrestleMania. Even their own video packages were all built around a spot. There was no legitimate beef. There was a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And people went apeshit for it.
I agree that the WWE at this point is making it very difficult to care, but I don't think that it's through lack of the talent trying. I think it's just like really, really, really poor writing. And I think that there's certain people that are able to transcend that. You know, Seth Rollins is one of those guys that, like, he's been probably booked the strongest out of everybody as far as writing goes, but still not great. But I continue to care about him.
Seth has been like the center of storylines, but he's still. I mean, he lost all the way up to Mania. He lost at Mania before he cashed in.
I don't know what the fuck they've been doing with him for the past 3 weeks.
I mean, he is. Well, here's the thing, and then people were talking about it in the podcast thread, and it's a good point. I mean, we were joking about it on Twitter earlier. Is there any reason to watch weekly WWE shows right now, or should you just tune in for the pay-per-views?
Pay-per-views.
What would you have missed? You will have missed Rollins demanding Kane lay down.
For 3 hours.
Kane laying and being scared of Randy Orton, a guy he took out. Kane laying down, but only after fucking Rollins up.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next show, you'd see Kane demanding Rollins lay down, and then Rollins actually laying down, and Kane telling him, haha, just kidding. Tell me in what fucking world that is supposed to make me want to pay money to see a match.
I don't even know how it's supposed to make you want to watch a show for 3 hours.
How's it even a good story? What even is it that you're doing that makes, I'm compelled by this. Kane is demanding Rollins lay down for him. Like, that never fucking works ever. Ever. It's never worked. And they literally call attention to the fact that it's bullshit by having Daniel Bryan show up on a show that he wasn't fucking booked on and he was too injured to wrestle on, to show up for get in Kane's face and say, oh, you're actually going to lay down while you're going to pull some WCW shit? That put that company under. That's not what's best for business. It's like, then why are you booking it? You're booking this shit. You wrote this. You write Brian to say that, but you're the one writing the fucking shit to have him do it. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
I will say this, and this is to both of you. How happy are you that the format of our show? Because, when we started doing this, we were going live after every single Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
And Sean, we started doing that as well. We
tried to for a little while, but we could, because I can't. I have watched Raw. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I'm not the Raw recap guy. I watched Raw on Hulu, and even at cut down at 90 minutes, I fast forward 33%.
Oh,
because here's the stuff that I think you would have missed if you didn't watch Raw. You would miss like the rise of Sheamus as like a badass heel. I can watch that. I can see that in YouTube clips. You'd miss some great Neville matches. Again, I can just see that in clips. I don't need to sit through replays and advertisements for Jerry Springer shows and a 15-minute Triple H monologue about Tough Enough and the Kane drama. I don't need any of that shit.
I'm not afraid to admit it. I haven't watched Raw in 6 weeks.
There you go.
And I am the recap guy. I keep waiting for someone in the comments to be like, Gino, you're clearly bullshitting your way through the weekend. And like, no one has said it yet. I'm just like, keep waiting, and it just hasn't happened.
Because none of them are watching it either. They're relying on you, and you haven't let them down. I mean, they figured out everything they needed to know from the fucking playlist you put together.
It's a good system, and I don't think anyone needs to watch it. It's just, what did Gino say? Oh, he said C+. That's fucking ridiculous. Clearly an A- show. Gino, what the fuck's the matter with you? You're so cynical. And next week, it's an A-. Are you fucking? What were you watching? You're an idiot. Like, this is clearly a D show. Like, all right, man. One of these days, I'm going to have it in me. Probably before I leave. At some point,
Where are you going? Stop saying this.
At some point, I'll leave Cageside, and before I do, I'm going to do a recap. And it's going to say, Raw results, recap, reactions, whatever. That's SEO bullshit. This show sucked. That'll be the headline. And then in the body, it'll say, no, seriously, this show sucked. Grade F. That's the whole post. I'm going to do that. One of these days,
that would probably get 1.5 million hits.
Yeah.
Roughly. That's that insider talk for you.
60% of the people in the comments will tell me how much of a dickhead I am and how I'm shortchanging the people who come to the site and how it's, what about the people who didn't watch the show? And then 40% of the people will call those people dickheads and think that it's a great fucking thing and that's fresh and new and whatever. Yeah.
And the and they'll all tell you that it should have been an F+, not an F- or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Gino, seriously, I can understand what you're trying to do here, but this was at least a D show. Come on, man. It's like, I'm done, dude.
No, like, it's tough getting through. Like, when a pay-per-view is very good, it's easy to get through it. And like
tonight,
and the NXT specials, when they're good, like, those are easy to get through. But guys, this is the 1-year anniversary of the show that I literally fell asleep on our podcast.
Is it really?
And that also speaks volumes to the fact that it was a really bad show. Like, if you want to talk about something and you're excited to talk about something, and like it can be good or it can be really bad, but you just want to talk about it, it's easy to do it. But when you're so indifferent to a product, like it's tough actually getting up for it. And that's what like Monday Night Raw is for me at this point. Like, I don't watch Monday Night Raw. Like, I'm going up to Dallas tomorrow. I'm going to go see the Texas Rangers play the the Seattle Mariners. And on Tuesday, I'm getting tattooed. Like, I'm not.
You'll watch Raw, but you'll watch a baseball game.
That's my dream weekend. Go to the ballpark in Arlington and get a tattoo. I did that for like 10 years of my life.
Right? It sounds like a really good weekend to me, man. Like a Monday, Tuesday, it sounds perfect.
Baseball's terrible.
No, dude, live baseball is awesome.
Live baseball's even worse.
No.
Just hanging out outside with your friends drinking.
Yeah.
That's legitimately all it is. You're not even at a baseball game. You're hanging out, and every now and again a ball gets hit.
And then you get to yell at the players that are really close and heckle them, which is actually what I like. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at heckling.
I bet you are. I can see that.
Baseball is wrestling, is what I'm hearing you say, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, more of the wave and less this is awesome chance though. But what else happened on this show that we all said we liked?
Someone wanted two things on Twitter. Someone wanted me to talk about something. What did he say? It's the same dude called us a dick. He said, "Finally, bring it."
He called us collectively a dick.
He called me a dick. He said,
dick.
Yeah, he said, "You late dicks." That's what he said. Finally, bring it, sweat hogs. All right, thanks.
Wow.
Jeff Fremont, and tell me your thoughts. You're spelled U-R. I real tempted to ignore this. On Neville replacing Bryan. Here's my thoughts. I liked it. What are your thoughts, Sean?
I liked it.
Shut up. What are you?
Damn it.
Sean, how did you not pick up on that immediately?
I could fuck up a wet dream, man. I don't know.
Hell.
I know.
Fucking hell. No, you know what? Actually,
because I got stuff to say about that match. Actually, you could have asked me what I thought of, like, I don't know, some other match. I don't know. Actually, I have opinions on all of the matches on this card. So
no, yeah, Neville and Barrett I thought they handled it. Okay, I think WWE is shit for the way they waited until the last possible minute.
Yes.
To say that Bryan wasn't working the card because they knew. Okay, if the rumors from fucking weeks ago were that he was hurt. And there's something going on, and they're not saying what it is. And okay, you ask, and he doesn't have a concussion officially, or it's just it's a precautionary measure, which is the line that they give us. You shoot off an email. It's okay, fine, but this is not okay. You don't advertise a guy all the way up until the day of. It's 2.5 hours away from the start of the show. People are filing into the arena, and you still haven't made it official whether or not he's going to be wrestling on the card. You tell me you don't know. Are you telling me he was PW Insider reported he wasn't even in the fucking city? So it's not like you're evaluating him to see if he can work, and then you decide at the arena that he can't. If that's true, if the report's true. So I thought that was horseshit. That said, the way they handled the Barrett coming out, cutting the promo, getting the heat, Neville being the guy who comes out, and he's established that that's what he'll do.
Mm-hmm.
He's had the matches with Axel, but then he had the match with Rollins,
Rollins, yep.
and then Sheamus, and so he's just going up against it. Fuck it, I'll take everybody on, whatever. Even though he's young and he's up and coming and all that. And yeah, a really good babyface heel, very simple. Neville's the guy who's going to put the heel in his place, and they worked a really good match. It was super exciting. Neville was fucking over as hell, and they gave him a clean win.
Yep.
This was awesome. Great finish. Everything was really good.
Yeah, I don't know how much a win over Barrett means at this point, unfortunately, but yeah, I like
For Neville in his situation, perfect.
Yeah, it's a good stepping stone. They got I don't know. They're marketing him right as like this attraction kind of a guy. Like, oh, you got to see this when he runs out. You're not going to want to miss it. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with how they've built him. I think he probably stays in the mid card, but there's nothing wrong with that.
See, I'm going to disagree. I don't like how they're booking him because all they've done is establish him as a guy that like I'll answer every single call, but most of the time I don't win.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he lost to the WWE champ and to Sheamus, who's killing everybody.
And then he beat Axel twice.
And that's as much as I love Axel, he shouldn't be winning at this point. His gimmick is what it is.
And like we talked about, Sean, sometimes it is, we were talking about Ambrose and how he's the Bengals. And that there's, in a sense, okay, well, does it matter how you win and how you lose? Certainly, to an extent, like to a point. Like Neville right now is like, okay, he beats Curtis Axel handily, has his way. Cool. He has a match against the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then he loses clean, but he actually held his own. He went step for step, toe to toe. And when you're young like that, so essentially you can say if we go with the NFL comparison again, that's like a young team that beat up a bad team and then had a test against the champs and then hung toe to toe with them, and you go, wow, you can look out for that team. They look like they're on the come up. So it's the situation. With Ambrose, it was, okay, he's lost at every damn pay-per-view he's been on since last year. He gets to the playoffs and loses.
Yeah.
He's done it enough times that you can never feel like he's going to win, and you just, at that point, there's nothing to look forward to. But with Neville, the booking's been good because he beats the guys he's supposed to beat, and then he moves up in competition, and then he hangs with those guys, but he's not beating them right now, which is what makes this win such a cool thing, is that, okay, so yeah, maybe Barrett's not necessarily a huge victory, but he is the guy that was going to challenge for the Intercontinental title on the show before Bryan got hurt. It means something within the confines of the kayfabe world they've created. So yeah, I just felt like it was kind of perfect. All things considered.
I don't know what else they could do with them. I think they do well with guys up to this point. This is like how they built when he still had the name Antonio. This is how they built Cesaro. They got him that U.S. title win, and he looked great, and then they don't know what the fuck to do with him. It's what they did with Wyatt. It's what they're doing with Rusev now. It's like, oh, that's great. We got him to the upper mid-card. Now we're going to fucking shit our bed and hopefully not ruin him forever.
They want to talk about the New Day.
I'll talk about the New Day, man.
New Day?
Here's the thing. And Sean, every single time that we talk, we've only discussed how they've been basically buried with this stupid character, whatever it is. It's clearly floundering with fans, and nobody seems to care. Their in-ring work tonight's match to me was the match of the night.
Mine too. Yep.
Big E is one of those guys where like he may never reach the potential that we all saw in him, like meeting main event and potentially being like actual African American winning a title. But he was incredible in this match. Cesaro was going crazy in this match. Tyson Kidd, amazing. And Kofi Kingston is like the fourth man, still had a really, really, really good showing. It's matches like this that will probably get them over, maybe eventually. And if they don't, then yeah, you can always fall back into that, kind of going into like the Rocky Die promo where you just go, look, we've tried being very positive. We've tried bringing positivity and a good attitude, and all we're hearing is boos. All we're hearing is that, New Day sucks. And you know what? To hell with you guys. Now we're going to kick the shit out of every single one of your heroes. And it would work that way, too. But right now, like, tonight, I think that was the match of the night. I think that all four guys were just working on all cylinders. The heroes of the match were clearly Big E and Cesaro. Again, two guys that, in our opinions, smart fans probably should be in that main event picture, but just aren't for whatever reason, lack of personality or black or whatever the reason that they're giving for anybody. But I thought this was a great match, man.
Yeah, I actually think this could be. I think WWE has backed into it, but they've got a gimmick that's over here. It's still not. They're still not characters. It's still just a gimmick, but it's a start. And I think this actually could be the thing that actually might give Big E his best chance at being propelled into the main event. I mean, he could. If somebody's going to break out of this New Day faction as the singles guy, it's going to be him. Kofi's day has passed. He's a good wrestler, but he's not good enough on the mic. And Woods is just a hype man. I mean, he's probably going to get to work. I'm excited for the Freebird rule coming back, but Xavier Woods isn't great in the ring. So, but yeah, I think E could springboard out of it. I will admit to marking out a little bit. I was a little bummed my boys lost. Cesaro's probably my favorite guy in the company right now. I don't think he's capable of having a bad match. I've followed him from the indies, so I feel like an attachment to him. When he caught Big E, I don't understand how he does it.
And did not move as though momentum had switched.
Nope. Just
like gravity defying.
Yep. It's unbelievable the feats of strength that man can do. And like you said, do him like it's nothing.
Yeah. Like his legs didn't like bend a little.
Mm-mm. Nope, he didn't buckle at all.
He's a gigantic man. Who's got candy in his titties.
Candy titties, and who had momentum coming at him, and he just caught him.
Just caught him, and didn't, like, go backwards.
Mm-mm.
Like a cross body, and he just caught him. Like, even Cena, when he does that thing, he has to roll through, no matter who he's catching.
So that was great, man.
My favorite spot, though, is, and maybe I'm a mark for it, Big E's spear through the ropes or tackle.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite.
Insane.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
That's such.
He's too big to hit that perfectly every time, but he does.
Every single time, and it looks so devastating every single time he does it.
That's the best word for it, devastating, because it's just such a big. And that was a really cool thing about this match is everyone was just exactly where they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be there. Like it was like they had worked it out beforehand, and then this was the absolute. It was like we were watching one of many run-throughs, and this was the best one that they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just could not believe that everyone was exactly where they were supposed to be every time they were supposed to be there. It was awesome. This probably was a big fan of Reigns and Show, but this was, as far as entertainment and there being, title change and all that kind of stuff, this was probably the match of the night. And I haven't gotten around to putting that post up yet. I will here soon once I hop off here. But yeah, this probably, for me, I'm probably voting this for match of the night. And the New Day, when they turned them heel, and they always should have done that, but I'm kind of glad everything worked out the way it did. And, you talk about the racism and stuff like that, and I get that part of it. I don't get it. I'm just I'm a white dude who doesn't know shit. But I don't know, man. I just really like, like you said, like Roth said, if we clap so we don't snap is just a cool fucking thing to me. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to be positive, and you guys are assholes. And that's the truth. Like, that's legitimately what occurred. Like, they just went out, and, like, of course, a lot of people were booing because it's super stereotypical, and, you don't need to, a lot of the, black people who talk to us, follow us on Twitter all the time, kind of talking to us about how it's kind of offensive, and it's like, we wish that we could be something more than just boxed into these ridiculous stereotypes, and it's like, why can't we just be treated the same way? You can expand what these gimmicks can be. It doesn't always have to be bullshit like this. And I can see that. I can't. Like I said, I feel weird speaking on it, whatever. But it just works so well for me to think of it like, and maybe that's shitty to kind of bypass that and just go, they were being really positive all the time, and everyone just shit on them. Because that's kind of how it is. If someone comes in and they're just Mr. Positivity and they're just everything is good and grand and smiling and happy, like
which is literally what happened with The Rock when he debuted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like The Rock, literally when he debuted, was just like he had an awful haircut and all he did was he was a smiling baby face, and nobody liked him for it. And then the only reason why The Rock ever connected is when he did the Die Rocky Die promo. That's it. If he never did that and he just kind of did like, no, I'm just gonna smile my way through this, like, there is no Dwayne Johnson like movie star. There probably isn't. And like, I don't like kind of in the same way like if Stone Cold doesn't do that Austin 316 promo, you probably still are seeing him as like the ringmaster. It to me it's likely the same thing.
And this is go ahead, sorry.
And I think with a New Day, they're not there yet with cutting that promo. But they're almost there. They're almost there to be like, you know what? We've been positive about everything. We're trying to bring a good time to this company. We're trying to be positive about like just wanting to be here and showing up and actually like wrestling and performing in front of you. And you can make it almost like a shoot promo. And it doesn't need to be yelling. It doesn't need to be, Xavier Woods when they first got together doing like that Louis Farrakhan kind of stuff. Yeah. It can literally just be. They don't need to yell. They could just have, Kofi, Xavier, and Big E just being like, we've tried being positive. We've smiled our way through all the New Day sucks. We've smiled our way through like what we fit, like everything, and how you guys don't like us, you guys don't want us here. And you know what? We're sick of it. We're done with this. And now you're gonna see us hurt every single person that you put in front of us. And it would work.
I think Big E's problem has always been that he needs to figure out how to translate his obvious personality that you see on social media and you see in the candid behind the scenes stuff. He still hasn't exactly figured out how to channel that into a wrestling promo.
That ain't his fault.
No, well, it is his fault if his go-to is the black preacher thing.
Well,
I don't know. He's had some chances.
No.
He's been given the mic in the ring a few times, and it doesn't come across for some reason. I
guarantee they wanted that.
Yeah.
I read Daniel Bryan. I got an advanced copy of Daniel Bryan's book, and it's really interesting to me. Like he's very honest, and he goes in detail about some things. And he talks about it like he says it's really difficult. You'd be surprised how difficult it is. That they want you to be yourself and shine through with your personality, but they're giving you a script of words you would not say.
Yep.
I would never say this. This isn't me. You want me to be me, but this isn't me. This is not who I am. Like, I understand I'm playing a character, but at the same time, you talk about all the time, the best characters are just the dudes who just, you turn it up. So it's like, you'd almost have to think that they want him to, go do it like this, or do it like this, and this is what you say, and then he goes out and he makes the most of it, and he's charismatic, and just sometimes it works for some people, and a lot of people it doesn't work.
Well, I think that's one of the cool things about the New Day, that this turn for them is that it was organic. I mean, they did it along with the crowd instead of fight, and that's the same point I was going to make. I mean, it's when you give them, WWE pays all this lip service to how they listen to the fans and all this stuff, but time and time again they fall on their faces when they stick to their script and they refuse to go with what the wrestlers can do, play to their strengths, or play to what the audience is actually reacting to, and they keep trying to force feed us the script and the character that they want to until they have no choice, and then that's when everybody's input gets thrown in the mix, that's when you get the best shit.
This is even better because they picked up on something the crowd was already doing and very clearly wanted to do more of, and let them and kind of helped craft the characters in such a way that the crowd could then do more of that thing that they already were wanting to do. What I mean is they come out and they go, New Day, and then everyone just says, sucks. And that started small, and that's where you talk about we listen to the fans, we listen to the crowd. Okay, but you can prove it by you do something here with this, and they did. They go, okay, they clearly want to chant that. Let's play that up. Let's then make it like we'll say, they'll come out and they'll do the positive thing, and they'll say New Day, and then everyone will say sucks really loud, and then act really fucking bothered by it. Act like you don't understand it and you're really upset, and that will play into it with the fans. again, I can't stress enough how everyone needs more meaningful interaction with the crowd in those ways. Like you can remember, a lot of big stars and all the super meaningful interaction between those big stars and the crowd. Austin with "Give Me a Hell Yeah," even little stuff like that. Rock with "And the Millions," and then everyone does that.
Yep.
And Hogan with the fucking ear thing, and then pointing out the crowd and doing his pose down stuff. So it's
And the yes
really,
thing. Yeah, I mean,
the yes thing. It's what, man. And remember we talked about Adam Rose and how you could help Adam Rose get over was you could incorporate the crowd into the Rosebud stuff, shit like that. I really think they undersell that. That's one of the problems with Roman Reigns right now. He doesn't have a lot of stuff that's like that, like his finish when he does the ooh ah, when he does that bullshit and everyone gets in on it with him. Yeah, that kind of thing. But the reason the New Day works and the reason they're going to work is because they took that and they said, okay, here's this thing everyone wants to do. Let's make it to where they want to do it that much more and it feels good and it's an interactive kind of thing. I feel like they had that with Stardust and he just disappeared where everyone's calling him Cody and he's like freaking out about it. Like, my name's not fucking Cody. Like, it's Stardust. And he's all mad and then he snaps out in the match that he's doing. We need more stuff like that in our pro wrestling. There's too many wrestlers who don't have that kind of interaction with the live crowd.
And you're right. And most of that stuff comes out naturally, so you can't script it and plan it out in advance.
Yep.
And that's what Vince wants to do is control every fucking element of it, and you can't do it.
Yeah. The New Day are going to be it's going to be a lot of fun because they have exactly that. And they've been so even if it started shitty and it was bad for a lot of reasons and whatever and whatnot, it's turned into something really good. And the match was fantastic.
It was. And they just have to and I feel like I've done this in the time that I've been a wrestling writer. Every time I feel like, we're on the cusp of like good shit happening in the tag team division, they go ahead and break up half the teams. And I feel like just when Cesaro and Kid are clicking as a babyface team now, I'm worried that we're going to get them, that we're about to get their breakup story. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Wait, what?
I'm worried they're going to break Kid and Cesaro up.
Really?
They took the belts off of them, and now we're gonna go back to like Natty and Tyson having marital problems or something. Yeah, it happens every time. They can't help themselves. They have to do the tag team breakup feud.
I
mean, they had Miz and Mizdow. They had to do it with them. They had Cody and Stardust. They had to do it with them. Yeah, I'm worried. The only people they haven't done it with is if you're fucking related or otherwise Latino. Then you stay together forever.
They're big on Lucha Dragons, so.
Yep, and I think Lucha Dragons and the New Day are going to stay together for now, but I'm worried they're going to break everybody else up.
Are they though big on Lucha Dragons?
Yeah.
Are they actually getting over? Again,
yeah.
I haven't watched the product since WrestleMania, so
they're great. They debuted.
Kalisto he just gets pops. Yeah.
And they're gonna sell a lot of masks.
Yep.
And that dude just flips around all through the fucking air, and he's been hitting his spots, not like Sin Cara kept doing the botching.
Yep.
Doing the botching.
Doing the botching. Yeah. No, I think that's the money feud now is New Day versus Lucha Dragons for a while.
Yeah. They'll probably go back to this for a show.
Yeah, I mean, we might just get the rematch of this for tomorrow night, though. I mean, tomorrow night we're getting 3 rematches from matches tonight.
Now, the question I had for you guys, and maybe you already talked about it before I came on, what were your thoughts on the John Cena and Rusev match?
We didn't talk about it.
So. We hadn't talked about it. I don't even really have much to say, I guess. I don't really. It wasn't very good. Like it was good within the limitations of what they had to work with.
Right, within that stupid ass stipulation, yeah. I think it was the least of their 3 matches together so far.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
that's in the recap. That's the worst of the matches they've had together.
And Lana's the thing with Lana is completely out of character. She has at no point showed a desire to please the fans until tonight.
It's time. They've got big plans for her.
They're going to break them up. Yeah, I'm worried about what happens to Rusev. I mean, the fact that we're getting an I Quit match, and there's no way in God's green earth Cena's losing an I Quit match.
No, what's his name? Dude I follow on Twitter from Middle Easy. Gary LaPlante. Gary LaPlante. He said, well, this is Lana's going to quit for him, and that's how they break up.
Oh, you're right. Yep,
And
that's it.
as soon as I read that, I said, "There's the finish.
Yep.
That's the finish." And then, you know what? God damn it. You know, I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Because look, Rusev can't win.
Right.
You talk about being a fan, and I love Rusev. I'm a huge fan of Rusev. He can't win because the evildoers don't go over in the end. Sorry, it's not how it is.
Certainly not with this stipulation. That's for sure.
Not in this promotion.
America doesn't quit to Russia.
That's right. Not in this promotion. WWE's a babyface promotion. John Cena is not going to get beat in a feud unless it's Brock Lesnar, and the only reason for that is obviously there were a lot of circumstances that created that situation being what it was. So the match tonight or last night or whatever for you East Coast fucks was yeah. I mean, it was for what it was. I give him credit. And I give him credit in the recap, and maybe this is me because I was so high on the rest of the event. They had the crowd, man. They didn't do much. They really didn't because they couldn't. Because the fucking strap matches are dumb. They're awful. I don't understand the appeal of them in any way. But then you just add a big ass chain and say Russian, and then act like suddenly it's a super appealing thing. It's not. It's really not. And it's two guys who have good chemistry and they can do a lot of things, but then you handcuff them together like that. It just doesn't work for me. That said, the crowd was never out of that match. They were super into everything they were doing at every point they were doing it. So they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yep, the crowd was really good tonight. Actually, I mean, we had some CM Punk chants a couple of times, but not as much as you'd expect. They even popped for Ryback, which I was surprised. I thought
I love the booing though immediately. Like during that, no, not the booing, the boring chant during that awful
the backstage segment.
Oh my god! And it was a super loud chant to the point where like they had to start like unmiking the crowd, and that was hilarious to me.
I think that's the only way they can manipulate the sound when they're like doing a live thing like this is they can turn it down. But
there were a lot of Cagesiders in the crowd tonight. People in Chicago, I know a lot of people there, and who were actually in the arena and were hitting me up and stuff. And it was like, I read that they were saying a lot of kids tonight, not a normal Chicago crowd, like a ton of kids, and people cheering accordingly, kind of thing. Not as much, there were the CM Punk chants. That happened, and you know what? I'm not going to cut a promo.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to cut a promo. But I will. Why? If you're at a fucking pro wrestling show, you do what you want. I get that. Fine. You paid for the ticket. Fine. I understand that. But if I really could just sit down with somebody and go, why are you doing this? Why are you and some of those motherfuckers, dude, like you look behind, because they were chanting it when they were on the announcers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see behind him. There's this dude, and I zeroed in on him because I just couldn't not. He's kind of a big dude, and he was just like really into it. Like he was like CM Punk, and like he had this really intense look on his face, like he was making a fucking statement, chanting CM Punk. And I just like to sit down with that guy and go, "What are you trying to say, man? What do you think you're saying when you chant that? What is it you think you're doing when you chant?" It's a bit to me like a breakup. If you were broke up with in January of 2014,
mm-hmm.
and it is currently late April of 2015, and you're still not over it, and you're still not only not over it, but actively attempting to like make clear, standing outside the bedroom with the boombox type shit. That's disturbing. That is beyond the normal parameters of human behavior. And I don't deal in normal, certainly. I'm fucked in the head as much as anyone else is. But again, why? What's the point? He doesn't want to come back. He's not interested. He doesn't watch. He did not hear you. He does not give a fuck even if he did hear you. You are not helping the show in any way. In fact, you're taken away from it. You're annoying. You look stupid. You have a bad haircut. You are annoying. It's just silly as fuck. Like,
This is like Geno time on Xanax or something.
I'm
This
just
is like
so.
chill Geno time.
This is sleepy Geno time.
I'm just yeah. I know I've got work to do and I don't want to, but like I'm just so like over it, dude. Like I don't like he's tweeting
What?
about hockey.
Yeah.
Like he's living his life and he's
He
about
got a
getting
new
in.
he got a new job today. He's writing another
Yeah,
comic book.
he's
I got
writing
to do a post on it.
yeah, he's writing bad comics and he's about to get his ass kicked in an MMA fight.
No,
Like
he's
who
not.
gives a
He's not
shit?
gonna. He's not gonna fight MMA, Gino.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
He will. He will never fight. I guarantee.
Yeah.
That is
You
almost.
heard it here first, guys.
That
Matt
that
Roth
that
putting
is
it
almost a
down.
guarantee that he never actually steps foot in the cage, except maybe with a microphone to interview a fighter.
Why do you say that?
Because there's no way that any commission is actually gonna like one sanction a bout with him. Two, there's no fighter that the UFC can actually sign that will like either A, he can actually beat, because you can't take anybody that's had a professional fight. You can't. And they're not just signing some scrub who's been at least training. Uh, and look, there's too much at stake if he loses to that no name guy, and there's no one on the roster that you can actually have him fight.
What's at
So,
stake?
I'm gonna say this: CM Punk, I'm giving a 90% guarantee he never actually fights. He is being one. It's a great. He's a great promo, and you can have him go in the cage and interview. And two, you can, people care about him enough that you can keep talking about it.
Can I say this?
Right.
He's a great promo in a pro wrestling setting.
Oh no, he's been awful with like their media tour.
Yeah, his interviews are fucking garbage.
But it's also because everybody knows he's a fraud.
It's true.
Like you can't say like, hey, how long have you been training? He goes, well, I've been,
10 minutes.
I'm a white belt, and
I don't believe in belts. Okay.
like uh, I've trained jujitsu on and off for the past 5 years. No, probably even longer. I've been training on and off jujitsu for the past 7 years. Uh, I would probably beat CM Punk in a grappling match.
I think one reason I tend to agree with you is if there was anything that he was doing impressive in his training, some footage of it would have leaked by now.
Right.
I mean, I feel like if we throw up a CM Punk post now, it's not getting nearly the traffic. I mean, people are sort of over it on all fronts. I feel like.
Other than the fucking
good for him
idiots
that
in
he's
Chicago.
writing comic books. Like he at least has that kind of going with for him. But it's very funny that the WWE has at least found the replacement for CM Punk, at least on like the comic book nerd, like Punk guy end with Corey Graves. And Corey Graves going to Marvel and interviewing them about stuff like that probably would have been CM Punk if he was still around.
I think that's the other thing about chanting his name, to get back to that too, is I don't know how his return, I mean, and I'm a big Punk mark too, don't get me wrong, but I don't know how his return improves the product right now either.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Seth Rollins is doing more than he ever would have done in the ring
Mm-hmm.
from a work rate perspective.
You mean if Punk returned to WWE?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. They're not going to book him right, really. I mean, and at this point, there's too much time gone. I don't know. I mean, I guess the money feud now is him versus Ryback, and then him versus Triple H. But I mean, yeah,
He doesn't even deserve the Triple H feud though. But like
that would still be a hot
I-
feud.
I-
That would
I-
be that would be a work shoot feud straight through. That would be a hot feud.
yeah, but I don't care about it. I don't care. For me, and you kind of said it, like Seth Rollins is doing better work than he ever could. Um, the stuff that Corey Graves, like that role that Corey Graves is now finding himself in, better than CM Punk probably would have handled it. And they're like at least now kind of seeing, hey, we have this other tattooed guy that has a lot of connections within the punk rock community and comic book community that is pretty competent on a microphone, and he's engaging, and Corey Graves is a better looking dude than CM Punk. So like you cover all these all these little like check marks and checkpoints, and there is no reason to have CM Punk anymore.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he doesn't want to be there. I mean, like I said, I think if he was back and he was committed and they were committed, they could do stuff. I mean, the dude was a unique talent. I think he put all that stuff together better than anybody else. He might not have been as good in the ring as Rollins or as good on the mic as some other people, but the combination of the two, he was a special dude. But I don't, yeah, like I said, with him barely interested and banged up, and them not, like I said, ever really going to commit to that as being one of their top guys. They never gave him the Mania main event, even when he should have had it. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in fantasizing about that anymore. Like, I mean, like Reverend Kane said in the thread here, if he's going to come back, I'd rather him go to New Japan and work his ass off with AJ Styles and Okada and Shinsuke and all those guys.
Didn't he say if he was going to come back, he'd just work the Young Bucks and like PWG?
Yeah, and that would be some fun fucking
Good for
matches.
you. Go do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
go do that. Nobody gives a shit here anymore.
Nope.
A lot of people chanting, and it's beyond that. And that's probably unfair to say nobody gives a shit. I understand. I'm just, you know what I mean. You get over it, dude. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're coming up. We're more than a year. It's time.
We've, you've been, Sean. How long you been with your wife?
11 years now. I mean, not married, but 11 years we've been together.
You were in love with someone before that?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, that's a deeper discussion, but yeah, I think so.
So I'm just saying the point. So
Yeah.
you broke up, obviously,
Yeah.
and you're in love with someone, and you break up, and it hurts. It takes time. Get over it,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it take a year?
Yeah. I mean, maybe
Like a year.
I mean, not to the point where I couldn't do it, like do anything, like no. I mean, there were still there. Yeah, there have been women that I still thought about a year later, and like.
Sure, but that's normal. Like
Right.
it's no like you and if it's a year later and you're hanging out and like something happens and it reminds you and then you're like,
Right,
oh, maybe I'll
yeah.
go look at their Facebook page or some shit like that. That's a normal human thing.
Correct.
But like a year and a half later to be like this about it is like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, there's never been anybody like a year and a half later I wouldn't go out and try to meet new people because I was just going to sit at home and say
Especially
that
if they're
person's name
married
over and
now.
over again. Yeah.
Yeah, they're married now and are having a kid and fucking like just doing their own, like you're not even anything in their world.
And that would be like because like we've said, I mean the WWE is still putting on the same, if not a better product than when he was there. So it'd be like you were in a good relationship and you were still just sitting around thinking about this other person.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's not good. It's not healthy.
Anything else?
People. Move on.
Anything else with this
What about? Do we want to bitch about the Divas or no?
Why would we bitch? I thought it was okay.
We could bitch because Naomi's inherited the New Day mantle of she's just going to be ratchet now. She's going to come out and do stuff with her ass and steal Sasha Banks' gimmick and not do it as well. And because they refuse to book them as heels and faces, and they wonder why people don't get attached.
Yeah, and then had the new theme, which is shit.
Yeah, that was just noise. Yeah, and then they wonder why people don't cheer for these matches. It's because nobody can tell who the fuck to root for. It doesn't have to be all heels and faces, but it should be. You should give us something.
Or just do a story and let me decide.
Yeah, I'm tired of. Yeah, there was no story to this. That just happened. I'm so mad I'm so pissed about that. But
well, Nikki Bella was wearing white, and when she wears white, I just can't handle it.
She is an attractive woman.
Really
I'm tired, and I didn't say anything offensive.
You're you're tired, and you didn't say you haven't been a sexist douche yet.
No, I was. I thought something else, but I kept it inside.
I saw the look on your face.
Nikki Bella knows how to wear some shorts. See, now I got to stop talking. I'm getting close.
Say it, Sean.
No, I'll say it for you because I can't get fired from a show that I don't get paid for.
Be careful, Roth.
She is well put together.
Okay. Amen.
I'm good with that.
She's a good-looking broad.
I tweeted.
And he trips over his own feet and falls.
You had it, dude. You were good, and then we
were doing so talking. Good.
You were good, and then you kept talking.
That dame.
Did you just call her a dame?
Yep.
That's retro. That's so old. I don't even know if it's sexist anymore. That's like retro sexism.
I actually really like that term, and I can remember I asked Theta Sean, on
Mhm.
Twitter. I was like, can I call women dames? Is that okay? Because I think I watched Sin City, and fucking Mickey Rourke was like calling his chick
Mhm.
Goldie a
Yep.
dame, or he's like talking about, he's like, I don't like when guys hit dames, and I was like, that's pretty badass. I'd like to be able to say that. So I went to her and I'm like, is it okay if I say this? She's like, well, it's kind of sexist. Like, I don't know if you should. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yep.
really? Come on. I don't mean it in a sexist way. Like, let me call you dames. Like, no, Gino.
I think it's all I think it's all context. I think you can get away with that with the right
Listen to you argue. I just told you, fuck you, Sean. I just told you a woman literally was like, no, Gino, it's
Well,
sexist. And you just tried to argue, no, hang on, it's about context.
well, I just don't think any one woman can speak for all women. I think there are certain terms like I mean, you wouldn't want to say no, I'm not having this discussion. I'm doing well. I'm
No, do
stopping.
it. Fucking say
Nope.
it. And I want you to
Nope.
say it now.
Nope.
I want Sean, say it or you're fired, Sean.
I was gonna say
Sean,
something.
don't say it. Sean, do not say it. Do not say
Sean,
it.
say it right fucking now.
Like
Sean.
I got a little angel and a little demon on my shoulders, and I can't handle it.
Sean,
Who's
do
the
not-
one who pays you, Sean? Who's the one who pays you? Say it.
Sean, don't you do it. Don't you dare.
Well, I'll just tease it out because next we'll plan one of these when Mrs. Rudiger will come on off camera and explain my
Sean,
what a sexist
say
bastard
it.
I am. I don't even know what I was
Say
going to
it.
say now. I mean, there are
Don't
certain
give
things
me
that
that
are
shit.
absolutely
Don't give me
sexist.
that shit. Sean.
Gino,
Like you wouldn't like. There's no way that you could say the C word and get away with it.
Gino, my
But
client Sean Rueter declines comment.
You know what's funny? No, you know what's funny
I'm a
about
Matt
that,
Roth guy. I'm a
Sean,
Matt
you know-
Roth guy.
Sean, you know what's
What?
funny about that? The C word?
Uh huh.
I literally, you asked about my girlfriend the other day.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend says cunt constantly.
What? You can't
It's
say that.
no, hang on.
Is she a foreigner?
Hang on. Yes, she is.
Okay.
So
See,
if there's
that's
a difference
different.
there.
Yep.
That's what I said. I was like, so she's saying it or whatever, and I'm like holy shit! Like in America, you will get murdered for saying that. Like a woman will hear that. You don't even have to be talking to her. You can just say it in the general vicinity, and they'll fucking be like, "Whoa!"
I hate
what are you
that
doing
word.
saying that
Yeah.
word? But with her, it's like I can say it all the time. It's so freeing. It's liberating. So that's what you need to do. You need to get with a foreigner.
All right, I'll tell my wife that. That'll go over.
You tell your wife, like, go be
Babe,
born
I gotta get with a
somewhere
foreigner
else.
so I can use the C word.
Yeah, go be born somewhere else. Would she get mad at you if you said it?
She'd probably it would probably depend on context. Like if I called her it would be on. I mean, I'd be a dead man.
What if you use it as like
But if I called like a man that we agreed was a douchebag, if I said that dude's a C word,
He's a bit of a cunt.
she would agree.
what if you use it as an adjective like, look, you're acting really cunty right now.
That would not work. No,
You couldn't do that?
I don't think so. I don't know, maybe, but I doubt it.
It's such
I wouldn't risk it.
There's a
But that's also, I mean, I probably also wouldn't say you're acting douchey right now. Well, yeah, I probably would.
You've
something
said that to me. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm trying to think because there's just certain things that I wouldn't say to her just because it makes my life easier if I don't say them to her. Like I don't say you're acting like your mother right now because that would be I'd get nuclear eye beams. See, look, the cat would come over my shoulder like this, and that's for the cat people in the thread.
She knew.
And I don't know.
I was like, oh shit's on. I better get out of here.
Yep, she's getting out.
You're acting like your mother? I know what those words are. I know when it gets tense.
So I don't know.
Cunt is a super fun word that I'm really glad I get to say again.
Well, see, and here's a word. My favorite curse probably is cocksucker, and I can't say it.
Why?
Because it's offensive.
You just said it.
I know.
See,
I've been told by gay people that they don't appreciate it. It
Really?
makes
It's a gay issue?
I guess it makes it sound like you're a bad person if you suck cock, which
That's true, I guess.
I don't think you're a bad person, but I do like it as a curse word. Like that's a go-to road rage one. If I'm alone in the car, somebody cuts me off, you will hear the word "sea sucker."
See, that's where I get in trouble because for me, it's like I understand. We talked about this before, with Lawler. I understand the difference between something being offensive, like if you say, "Man, that's so fucking retarded, I can't handle it." Like someone says that, I'm not offended by that. That doesn't offend me at all. I know what you mean. I go with it, whatever. I might even laugh. But I understand it's an awful thing to say.
Right.
So I get in trouble where I'm like, I don't. Nothing offends me. right? Personally, but everyone thinks everything offends me.
See, last night I got to the point of being so angry at somebody that I dropped the other F word in anger, and
What's the other F word?
Yeah, the fart.
Fuck. Oh, okay. I know.
yeah,
Oh, I know. Okay, yeah, I'm with you now.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's been my go-to curse for years. Not to disparage
Right.
that group of people, but it's just that's a word. And I got so worked up last night that I dropped that out of anger.
At them?
Not he is not a homosexual.
Well,
But
see, and that's one. I mean, I'm older than both of you guys, but that's one. Like, there are words that like were everyday things, like when I was in high school, that now you just absolutely can't not say, like retarded, like that, like the other F word. Those are things that
See,
that
we're
was
scared to even
commonplace.
say it. We're scared to even say the word.
Yeah.
no, I'm scared to say it. One, because you guys get paid by SB Nation. The site's doing well enough on SB Nation that like it's not like, hey Gino, remember when you took over Cageside and I was taking over Head Kick Legend and like nobody gave a shit about us.
Yeah, we were getting so few hits that Sergio and I used to do the most X-rated podcast in the history of the world.
Right.
I once said I would suck a fart out of a chick's butt.
We're treading water around these words because of that. But you know what? We should probably get back at least on topic of
Yeah. Well,
They're like, oh shit, Gino's out of control.
I gotta write a preview, so I gotta wrap it up. What else do we want to talk about?
just one final thing. Did you guys talk about the main event at all or no?
We did, but what were your thoughts, Matt Roth?
I thought it was a stupid ending. I think that Randy Orton has no chemistry with anybody in the company at this point, except for maybe Cesaro, and that's even questionable. They had that one really good match, and that sucks because Randy Orton is just still in that main event scene, and he still needs to work matches with people, but he has no chemistry with anybody. The Seth Rollins and he's I don't know, man. It was a stupid ending to a decent card. I thought the RKO was banned.
You and Jerry Lawler both. Jerry Lawler couldn't shut up about the RKO being banned.
That was true.
I think that might be an angle later.
Maybe that might come into play on Raw tonight.
I think it might.
Gee, I wonder. By the way,
find out and then tell me if you tuned in because I'm not tuning in.
by the way, my girlfriend just sent me a text that says your account.
Oh.
How wonderful is that? See what I mean? Look
I
at
like
you. You
her.
smiled. You
You know,
smiled because you can't help but smile about it.
She's
So
good
that's
people. She's good
You know,
people.
where's your girlfriend from that she's a foreigner?
Australia.
Oh, nice.
Would there have been an answer where you wouldn't have said that?
No, I mean,
Yes, because Matt Roth is racist against Armenians. If you would have said Armenia,
she's from Spain. Spain, fuck her.
no.
Terrible.
If she was
Spaniards are kind of a pain in
if
the
she was
ass.
Iraqi or Afghani, no, fuck her, man.
Oh my
That's true.
God.
Matt is a patriot.
We're
Team
done.
America.
Sean, kick him out. Kick him out. He's done.
Bray Wyatt forever.
Roth, you're gone.
America for life.
Get the fuck out of here.
And if you don't like that, we've just got 3 words for you.
I can't believe it.
Deal with it.
Oh.